from your local news leader. This is 13 News at 11.
It's the time students get a chance to get a break from class, but today it was a much different situation.
Gunfire erupts in the middle of lunchtime at a Portsmouth high school. Tonight, new information on the incident that has left students and staff shaken. It is Wednesday night, and the big story on 13 News. A 15-year-old is now charged in connection with an incident this afternoon at Wilson High School.
The incident happened in the middle of a lunch period, and it sent students and staff members ducking for cover. Here's what we know tonight. 3 rounds were fired, 2 of them in the busy cafeteria. Part of the school was immediately evacuated, the rest going into lockdown. Tonight, that student faces a long list of charges. Officials say he had been suspended from school earlier this week. The night team's Sella Kim has been on this story since this afternoon. And Sella, no one was hurt, but this is still a pretty frightening situation.
That's right, David. Students were frantic, running for cover, and parents were terrified that their child may have been hurt. Tonight, the 15-year-old student faces several charges, including discharging a firearm in the school and possession of a firearm under the age of 18.
It's a fear like you can't even imagine. Because at that point when I drove home, I couldn't find my daughter. I didn't know where she was.
Amy Jacobs couldn't help but cry after receiving a frantic call that someone opened fire inside her daughter's school at Wilson High.
I just wanted to make sure my kid was okay and that all of her friends were okay.
They were okay. Police say no one was hurt when a 15-year-old student shot 3 rounds in the building, 1 into a wall in the hallway and 2 bullets into the cafeteria ceiling.
I was just wanting to get out of school. I didn't want to be in there anymore. There was kids running everywhere. I parked in the library over there, and the kids were just frantic.
While students were running for their lives, the gunman dropped his weapon and took off, but administrators chased him down. He was caught on the parking lot of this church down the street.
He was on the ground, and the police had his hands behind him, and they were putting the handcuffs on him.
Officials say the 15-year-old was recently suspended for fighting and other behavioral problems, but Wednesday afternoon he decided to come back with a gun and shoot, entering through a back door that officials say is always locked.
We will determine how that student gained entrance, but our doors are locked.
But some students say no matter how safe it may be, school will never be the same again.
She's not coming back. It's not safe.
The 15-year-old is being held tonight at the Tidewater Detention Jail. He is expected to be in court tomorrow morning. Police say the investigation continues and more charges may be pending. Reporting live in the newsroom, Sella Kim, 13 News.
Thanks, Sella. The back doors that were mentioned in Sella's story were the focus of a 13 News investigation 4 years ago. That's when someone started a fire at Wilson High School. The problem at that time, the doors were bolted shut, forcing students to evacuate from another door. Students at that time told our Wayne Carter the doors had been that way for some time. 13 News will continue to follow the situation with security and those doors at Wilson High.
Also tonight we have new developments in a deadly shooting in Virginia Beach. Police have identified the victim of today's shooting outside a convenience store. 19-year-old Eric Satterwhite was shot outside the Mini Mart on South Independence Boulevard across from Green Run High School. 13 News was first on the scene. Witnesses told police after school some teens were arguing by the store when one opened fire. Satterwhite died on the way to the hospital. A witness told us what happened right before the shooting.
It was like a lot of kids, like 30, 40 kids around there, you know, once they came out, you know, once I came outside, you know, I saw them, they were out there scrapping, and then all you heard was pop, pop, pop. That was it.
13 News did some digging, and we found the victim graduated last year from Woodside High School in Newport News. There is no word yet on a suspect or motive.
The man sought for allegedly beating a disabled woman outside a Hampton convenience store has surrendered to police. William Douglas is charged with malicious wounding for the attack on Sylvia Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth was outside the 7-Eleven on North King Street. Police say Douglas slammed her leg into her car door, then continuously punched her in her face and throat. He's also accused of firing shots into another car.
New from the night team, Portsmouth residents are being told to keep their eyes on their air conditioners and crawl spaces. Criminals also are keeping an eye on them, especially when you're not at home. Police tell 13 News they have seen a major spike in copper thefts, and the suspects are people you may see around town every day. The Night Team's Brian Farrell joins us now live. And Brian, the suspects have already cashed in.
Depending on the amount of copper, they make anywhere from $20 to $100 per house selling the metal as scrap. For the property owner, it translates into thousands of dollars in repairs. Region-wide, there seems to be an increase in the type of crime, and in a lot of cases, detectives say you could see the thieves without realizing it as they walk or ride right past you.
They'll go in the backyard, get in the crawl with a duffel bag and pliers or a saw, and they'll actually shut the crawl space behind them so you don't even know they're in there.
Up and under, out and gone, copper thieves move quickly and quietly. The crime isn't uncommon, but in Portsmouth, police are trying to keep pace with the number of cases. An average of 2 to 3 roll into the department daily. It's been that way for at least the past 2 months.
This one was actually inside the house, it looks like, because it got half painted. But this is what they're cutting out and causing a lot of damage.
Detectives Robert Kornatzer and Richard Overstreet explain one pair of thieves managed to strip 1,700 pounds of the metal from homes. The problem has been so big, the police department is using the city's automated phone alert system to let people know about it. While there are cases throughout Portsmouth, detectives find the majority in the southeastern part of the city, including the areas of Craddock, Prentice Park, and Truxton.
Most of these guys we're seeing are riding bicycles with baskets on them, or they're carrying duffel bags. So they're cutting the copper up into small links and they're putting it in these bags or on the baskets on the bikes.
As far as deterrence, extra lighting obviously is good. The biggest issue to address may be access. We found home after home where getting underneath it was as easy as moving a board, maybe some bricks.
Crawl space doors you have the ability to padlock them. They need to padlock and harden a target as much as they can.
Just watch your houses next door, and if everybody does it, we can certainly put an end to this.
The crimes can be very tough to solve unless the thieves are caught while committing them or right afterwards. And for that reason, police say they really can use the help of people in the neighborhoods. If you see someone on a bike with pipes, a duffel bag loaded up, and looking a bit out of place, give them a call. Brian Farrell, 13 News.
Thanks, Brian. Cleanup is underway at a Norfolk marina following a massive fire. 13 News captured this incredible video of the fire at the marina on Shore Drive. The fire burned 3 boats and damaged several others. The boats that burned ended up sinking. Crews are working to lift the boats from the water so investigators can find the cause of this fire.
It's a very scary thing. The first thing you think about when something like this happens is your friends.
No one was hurt, but about 300 gallons of diesel fuel leaked from the burning boats. The Coast Guard ordered that the area be surrounded in an effort to absorb the fuel.
News 6, fire rips through a Portsmouth restaurant for the second time in a month. 13 News was at Harper's Bar and Grill on George Washington Highway. The fire broke out just after 4 o'clock, significantly damaged the building. Our partners at the Pilot report the business had been closed because of a fire about a month ago. In Norfolk, 13 News was first on the scene of a crash involving a police car. The crash happened just after 4 o'clock on Virginia Beach Boulevard and Bush Street. Police say the cruiser had its lights and sirens on when it was hit by another car. No one was hurt. The driver of that other car was given a ticket for failure to yield.
New information on a deadly wrong-way crash on the high-rise bridge. Tonight, neighbors of the man who police say went on a suicide mission are talking to 13 News. People on Franklin Street in Kill Devil Hills said they never noticed anything suspicious about Robert Michael O'Brien. State police say O'Brien drove against traffic on the high-rise bridge Monday night. He crashed into a pickup truck, killing himself and the driver of the pickup. Police say O'Brien left an 11-page suicide note, but will not discuss the contents.
No trouble indications. He was always nice to us. I let him use the power and water when they were here working, and he was always thankful. Seemed like, just a very nice guy.
O'Brien's wife, Chona, was in the car with her husband during the crash. She remains in the hospital in good condition.